my first guest tonight, who is just so special, you're not going to believe it. Would you please give a big hand to Peryl Kelley Schaaf? And she is joined on stage here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pardon me?
I just thanking him.
Okay, you're a rock star. But what I wanted to, Pearl is joined here by 2 of her 4 kids. This is Wayne Schaaf.
Yeah.
He was the first child, and she was the caboose. This is Sherry Schaaf. So anyway.
Where's Tammy?
Oh, and Tammy are Tammy and LeBon here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're in the audience. Where's Tammy and LeBon? There they are, right over there. Okay. So the family's here. This amazing Durango family. And I want to tell you that this story is going to be especially amazing, and it's due in particular to this woman right here, who is Mary Kelley, and that is Pearl's mom. And the reason why this show is going to be so special because of her, not only because she had Pearl, but because she kept track of all these photos, and they're in mint condition and labeled, and it's just an amazing collection of stories and photographs. And Pearl will tell you about her mom and the images that we're going to show you here tonight. The other thing we want to tell you is that these are stories. This isn't a scientific lecture or we got no PhDs up here that I know of. And we can't vouch that every single detail is actually true either, because they're stories. That's always our relief. So anyway, Pearl, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Well, let's get started and tell these folks about your amazing family. Let's start off with the story about you getting hitched.
Well, we went with another couple down to Aztec, New Mexico to get married, and when we were with them, of course, I wasn't old enough, or they thought I was old enough, and they talked us into getting married.
Okay.
So for $3, we got married in Aztec.
Okay, for $3 and no waiting time either, right?
No.
Okay.
Better part of the story.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell him when you
Told.
Dad.
He couldn't figure out why they were raising so much heck. And he found out I was only 15 instead of 18.
And by the way, this was in 1939. So you can do the math, and we don't want to say exactly, but Pearl is somewhere between 94 and 96, in that age range somewhere.
At 96, you got it.
Okay. You're not 96 yet.
I will be.
You will be, okay.
Yeah, it's birthday.
But there's something else. Today is the 22nd of August, so it's kind of special, isn't it?
20th of August is our wedding anniversary.
How many years?
80, didn't we?
80.
80 years ago, Pearl got married.
And it lasted.
And that's one of their wedding photos right there. And I asked her, Pearl, how come you had your mouth open? It looked like you were shouting. And what'd you tell me?
I can't remember. I said, oh no, or something, I think, like that.
You told me you were saying, hurry up, we got to get out of here.
We made that up, I guess.
Okay. But these are photos of Ernie and Pearl over the years. And it is just an amazing story about what they added to this community. And I'm gonna move ahead because these are pretty self-explanatory here. But Pearl, this is a photo. There are 2 photos here of you and Ernie, and with some little character there. Who is that?
I was a lot better looking then.
You know what? You got the same haircut.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to pay close attention to that house back there, because that house is in a lot of these photos, and Pearl actually lives there today, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And how many years has your family owned that house?
1929. So 90 years.
90 years. Okay, well, one of these days you'll get it arranged just right. But it's just a...
It has grown a little bit over the years.
It has.
Yeah.
Well, you are a beautiful young mom there, I got to tell you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's continue on here. These are some photos of you and some more kids being born, but tell us about that one on the snow there.
Oh, that was a little niece of mine. What, wasn't she a niece?
Yeah, I think that's
Marietta?
Marietta. And
Yeah, she,
we were sledding right down in front of the house, what's now College Avenue. There wasn't any traffic on it.
So they live on 6th Street, right next to CJ's Diner.
Hey,
So,
yeah, oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
college, yeah.
Do we-
College.
Oh, we don't call it college, do we?
No,
Call
but
it
yeah,
It's
there's-
6th Street.
Yeah.
God,
Sixth,
6. 6th Street and Gigline Gulch.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we'd sled right down that road.
all right. This is the result of that amazing marriage. That's several pictures over the years of Pearl and her and Ernie and their 4 kids. You got a couple of stories you might be able to tell us about this pack you had there?
Oh, they were a good pack. They
This
were-
was your 45th wedding anniversary, correct?
45th, yeah, I think so.
That's all of us.
So that was 35 years ago.
Yeah, quite a while back, yeah.
Well, you know what? You haven't changed that much, I got to say.
And
Okay.
we all went together and paid for a trip to Hawaii for them.
Oh, well, let's continue on here. This is we're getting into the history part. So, Pearl, up on the screen there, we got a couple of shots of you and your predecessors there.
Yes,
5 generations is there, or 4?
yes.
So Grandma Fabini
Beanie and Grandma Julia and my mother and myself.
and Grandma Fabini was born where?
She was born in Austria.
And Grandma Julia was born in Austria as well.
Uh-huh.
And then Grandma Mary was born in Walsenburg.
And where were you born, Pearl?
I was born here,
But where here?
The house,
Oshner Hospital.
At Auctioner
you
Hospital?
were born in the house out on the mesa, weren't you?
you were born in that house out on the mesa.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
house is
yeah.
still there.
Yeah, yeah.
She was born at home out on the mesa.
Yeah, the doctor had to come right over the top of the snow. It was up above the fence post to deliver me.
Well, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he
Right.
did. He did.
And
I want
the birth certificate says Griffith, it doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was the doctor, Dr. Griffith?
No, that was a town. There was a,
Oh, the town was named Griffith.
town was
I've
called
never
Griffith.
even heard of that.
I hadn't either.
But you just told me.
What's there now, Sherry, where Griffith is? That store?
Salsa?
Yeah.
Where?
Salsa store?
Okay. I want you folks to think about this. Pearl personally knew someone who was around during the Civil War.
Oh, gee, let's don't think
Isn't
about that.
that amazing? I am impressed. That's amazing, Pearl. I have learned so much from you, and I'm so astounded by the things that you have seen in your life. And
Oh, I've seen lots and enjoyed life, and yes, been blessed
you have
with good children. And
to tell us about this picture of you when you were just a little baby.
Grandpa Garnet.
Who's that right there?
That's you and your dad.
me and my dad, and this is me and my granddad.
Okay, so this is you and your grandpa. He liked you, didn't he?
Oh, yes. I could do nothing wrong. I mean, literally, I could do nothing wrong.
So you told me a little bit about how he treated you when you were a kid. Tell us something about that.
Oh, he just always making over me,
Yeah,
Carrying her,
carried me around on his shoulder, and yeah.
yeah.
all they called her Cotton Top.
They called you Cotton Top?
I was real blonde, very blonde.
Now, one thing I remember is that your name is spelled P-E-R-Y-L, and your last name is K-E-L-L-E-Y, and you hammered it into my head to know why that's. So why don't you tell these
Well,
folks?
it's Protestant and Catholic spellings is what it is. The Catholic spelling, I believe, is P-E-A-R-L, and the Protestant is P-E-R-Y-L. And the other name, what was it?
Kelly.
Kelly. Is K-E-L-L-E-Y, was Protestant, and the L-Y was Catholic.
Okay. Now, I want to know about this horse.
Well, Wayne can tell you more about that than I can.
The guy riding him there, well, I'm on him, but the guy.
That's you in the back, right?
Yeah, me on the back. That was Herman, and he was married to Mom's aunt, but she was basically the same age as Mom. They were more like sisters, so we spent a lot of time with them. And this was a horse that he showed at Denver at the National Western and that. He worked all on voice commands, and he was, Herman was maybe one of the original horse whisperers.
Wow. Okay. Well, that looks like a pretty good trick,
Yeah.
especially if the water's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get him on the boat, yeah.
Okay. And now, this is a really, tell us what your mom did. She worked.
She was a school teacher. She taught school at Thompson School, which is right on the curve on 302, was there. And she taught all 8 grades. And of course, I started in kindergarten there. Ended up in the 2nd grade there.
So your mom taught at a lot of different schools, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you would go with her to the schools?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, now
Not
you didn't
all
call
of
her.
them.
You didn't call her mom, did you?
Oh, no. I had to call her Mrs. Kelley.
Okay.
And she didn't let you get by with anything.
No.
Okay. So this is photos from the Thompson School. Let's see what we got next here. Oh, this is another school. Why don't you tell us about this place? I'll bet a lot of you had pizza there.
That's the Cascade School, and that's the Hodderberg boys.
Okay. So do you all know where the Schoolhouse Cafe is up at Needles? Okay. Well, back in the day, your mom taught school there. Mm-hmm. But this building here isn't actually the schoolhouse. What building is that?
The one that they're standing against is the school. This one up here is the teacher's. That's where the teacher lived.
And you lived up there with her?
Yes, uh-huh.
And tell us what your dad did during that time.
He stayed in town and took care of the place in town.
Okay. Oh, there's Pearl right there. So this is another photo. These kids on the, oh, tell them what you're sitting on. I thought it was a swing set at first,
It's
but
teeter-totter.
it's a teeter-totter. Those are illegal nowadays because they're too dangerous, you know what I mean? Somehow she survived. And one of the things that tell me about your horse and,
I was just sitting on that horse. I was not a horseback rider.
okay. But, now come on, you told me earlier you rode your horse to school. Were you just messing with me?
When you were on the Mesa, you rode it to school with some, didn't you?
Didn't you and Thelma ride to school or some?
Oh, Granddaddy took us in the wagon. Took us in the wagon to school.
How many of you rode a wagon to school? Okay. Tell us who this is and kind of tell us a little bit about these two pictures.
That's my brother and myself cutting up with one another, giving one another a bad time.
Who was tougher, you or your brother?
Oh, I was tougher.
Yeah. So did you?
Although Mom told me I had to do what Neil told me to do because
Oh,
she figured I wasn't smart enough to figure it out for myself.
Really? Now, was Neil older than you or younger than you?
He was older.
Oh, okay.
15 months to the day.
Okay. One of the interesting things about this picture is that Neil has a toy. What kind of toy is that?
Oh, that's one of those barrages, those
Blimp.
blimp, yeah.
Yeah, one of those dirigibles. Actually, back in those days, they actually used those for transportation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? So you got your dolls there. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, these are some fun pictures. Do you remember who's in these photos?
Those are some relatives from California that came to visit.
Uh-huh. And
And that's at Electra Lake, and we were boating on the lake.
yeah. It's funny how many photos we had from Electra Lake in this series, isn't it? It's just a wonderful place for families. And you have another connection to Electra Lake. The caretaker?
Yeah. He was,
Dad's dad,
Yeah.
Ernie's dad, was a caretaker up at Electra, and they lived up there, and Dad grew up around the lake up there. So
Okay.
they spend a lot of time. It's a special place.
Yes. Okay. Now there's a photo.
yeah, that's a
You got to
photo.
tell us about this one because that looks like a bunch of Bonnie and Clyde bandits to me.
Well, we always had Thanksgiving dinner at my grandmother's, and what this was a Thanksgiving dinner, and we all lined up and took a picture.
What did you have for Thanksgiving dinner besides turkey?
Turkey.
Okay.
We had turkey.
And that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Well, and all the trimmings, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any pies?
Oh, sure.
What's the best pie you ever had out there?
What pie was that? Don't ask me to remember now. I've had too many pies.
Okay, we
Too
can come
many
back. We
pies
can-
since then.
We can come back if you want. Okay, folks, I want you to brace yourself because when I met Pearl the other day, I told her, I said, boy, you were pretty spunky when you were younger. So here she is.
Yeah.
That's a rootin' tootin' woman right there. Tell us about that.
Oh, I was just cutting up. Just acting goofy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But didn't you wear that outfit? Tell us where you wore that outfit, though.
I wore it on a car in the Fiesta Parade.
The Fiesta Parade. Okay, well, maybe we'll have some parade pictures coming up here. Isn't that an awesome photo, by the way? I mean, I just love that. Now, this photo we put in here, these are 3 images of you, Pearl. But we put this in for a very special reason because you're quite a seamstress.
Uh-huh.
Tell us about or you can tell us about that, Sherry.
Well, the dress I have on, Mom made. It's knit.
It's a knit.
And the clothing that we have up here are all things that she made.
She
made-
knit
yeah.
this sweater from a photograph.
And she made wedding dresses, all the bridesmaids' dresses. She made Western outfits for us to show horses.
But let me tell you the part about this that just impresses me so much is that, Pearl, did you make those clothes because you enjoyed making clothes, or because
Oh,
you
yes.
or okay, and also because you needed clothes,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah. I made them because we needed them, and I liked sewing.
Okay. How many of you, I mean, it's just amazing. You think about today, you can go down to Walmart and buy something for $10. Can you imagine making your clothes because that was the best way to get them? That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Probably some of you still do that, but I know I don't. I'm a shopper. Okay. But your seamstress stories, you got any good, do you want to say anything else about that?
No,
Okay.
not especially. Just did a lot of it.
Okay. Now, when I first met Pearl, I said, this is a gas station. And you corrected me. What kind of a station is it?
Service station.
Okay. And why do they call it a service station?
Because we went out and serviced the cars when they came in. They drove in, we went out and washed their windshield and checked their tires and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there wasn't any self-serve back then, was there?
No.
All right. And so these are 2 photos. The first one on the left there, that's your, actually both these are of your dad. Okay, now tell me where the place is on the left there.
The Mountain View
Mountain View.
is the one that was, it's across from Sonic. It was across from the Sonic drive-in.
And that was the service station that her dad worked at. And then the other one is very close to here. Where's that other service station?
It's the one right across from the Strader. There was a Conoco station right across.
North.
It's where Magpies is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Alpine Sports.
And there's,
okay.
her dad's in there, her brother's in there, my dad's in that picture.
Oh, okay.
That's almost the whole
So the
family.
family worked there, and Pearl worked there too,
Yeah.
didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is. So I want you to tell us a story about you and the other ladies that worked at Mountain View.
Which story?
Oh, tell us the craziest one.
Well, there's just not a lot to tell about it. We'd go out and service the cars and wait on people, and when we had the Fiesta Parade, we got on a car and rode in the parade, and 6 of us, I think it was.
But one of the things you told me is that there weren't really women that worked at.
Oh no, there weren't women that did that. No.
So you were what? She's a trailblazer. But you worked your whole life, didn't you?
Oh yes. Yeah.
And didn't you take care of what your mom was teaching? Tell us a little bit about you taking care of the house.
Well, I just had to take care of the house.
Okay.
I had to sweep it and mop it and do the dishes and yeah.
So you had to put all the dishes in the dishwasher?
Yeah.
No, they had a dog.
There was no such a thing.
Okay. Anyway, is that just about the most amazing picture ever on the left-hand side there? I put that on Facebook, and I'm telling you, you are a rock star in Durango right now. Okay, so we saw the other two gas stations. We got to put a little shout out for Ernie's Triangle Service.
Yeah.
And so these are photos of when you and Ernie bought that corner and owned that service station, right? You want to say something?
Well, they leased it from Conoco
Okay.
until, I think in the 60s, Conoco got out of the real estate business and they bought it, but they leased it.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have a picture of the old station. It was rock and it sat catty corner there, and then they built that one on the upper right in the 50s, and that picture was taken during the grand opening when they first opened up the driving.
Well, you know what that thing looks like today? This photo, Pearl, this is the station now, and it's just a wonderful gathering place in Durango, Ernie's 11th Street station. And in this photo right here is Marcos, and he and his dad own the place, and his dad's back there somewhere. Give a big shout out there, Jaime. But most important is who's there with Marcos. That's your grandson.
Devin.
Which one is it?
Devin. It's Tammy and Kip's boy.
Okay, is Devin here tonight?
Yep.
Where is he?
He's out there.
There he is. You got big shoes to fill, buddy. When we were going through the albums, I thought this was just an incredible photo. This is, why don't you show that? Oh, you can't see it. Remember the photo of Ernie with the deer on the car?
On the running board, the fender.
Yeah, and he liked to hunt, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he did, but he didn't. We used it.
It wasn't trophy hunting, it was all for food.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us, Wayne? You went up there. Tell us where you hunted.
Yeah, we hunted all the time. Dad was not a trophy hunter, and we hunted for the game, for the meat, and you took care of it. You didn't waste any of it.
Where did you guys hunt?
Mostly, most of the years I hunted with Dad, we was up at the head of Dutch Creek, which I guess burned quite a bit last year, but up in there, we hunted up to there with Loudenbergs and Snyders, and then we had a camp up there almost every year for quite a few years.
I remember running into, when I was a little kid, we had a camp up by South Fork, up Hermosa Creek.
Yeah.
And there are all sorts of local families that, back in those days, do you remember they let school out for hunting?
Oh, yeah.
For a week.
Yeah.
For a whole week, they let us out to go hunting because virtually, so many people in Durango did that.
Well,
It's quite a time, wasn't
they
it?
did it for the food, too,
Yeah,
most of them.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is a painting of the Bank of Durango, which before that, it was Turner Industrial Bank. And now it's the site of Alpine Bank. And the reason why I'm showing you these photos is because Pearl has a connection to this. And tell us about how you guys went from gas service station attendant to being in the bank business.
Well, I typed loans for the loan officers and just went from there.
She could really type very well, and she worked for some other businesses before she went to the bank. She worked for the gas company and
I
some
was a
others,
fast typist.
and just worked her way on up.
Yeah, well, this is her desk plate that was there, and then she got a promotion to be assistant vice president, right? But that's not all, because Pearl became vice president. This is a woman in the 1960s, and it's pretty glorious. But there's also a side of that is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned back then, but especially today. I think you should tell us about that. You can help, Sherry.
The pay disparity?
Huh?
The pay disparity?
Oh, yeah, you got paid half what guys got paid. For guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't get the same benefits.
No.
And
A lot of them would get cars as a company perk, and those weren't given to the women typically.
Okay, and-
But she did all that with a high school diploma and worked her way up. And yep.
Well, you're pretty amazing. And
It was all fun. I enjoyed it. It had ups and downs, but basically, life's been real good to me.
Lots of my friends have said they got their first loan from my mom.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Sweet.
is that, you are on the leading edge of history. I mean, that's really an accomplishment to be a bank officer, back in the day when everybody thought you should only be at home. Plus,
Yeah.
you probably did all that too, didn't you?
She did.
Yes, she did. She made all this stuff and worked too.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that it was so unfair back then. And
Oh, I'm not. It builds character.
the good news is the pay is up to 85% now, or 75, or we got to get that fixed. Okay, let's see what we got now. All summer long in every presentation, we've had parade photos, and from the Fiesta Parade, because boy, back in the day, it was something, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was a big celebration.
Yeah, and it was 2 days long. The parade with all the fancy dancers and everybody coming to marching bands, and then you were in the parade, of course. Tell us about your parade float.
Sherry, can you
Well, it's when you and the girls from the gas station.
rode the car in the parade?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In terms of parade photos, we've got a very special one that we want to share with you, and I would say offhand that this is the most amazing parade photo we've had all year. It's of Olga Little leading her pack string down the main street, and she's your aunt, right?
Ernie's aunt.
Okay. Can you tell us a good Olga Little story?
She was a rough woman.
She-
You didn't
some of
mess
these,
with her.
well,
She-
some of these folks here may not know why she's so legendary.
She packed supplies into the mines, started doing that when she was like 19, and packed the gold ore out. We have some pictures of her with a whole string of barrels, and there's 3 bags of high-grade gold ore on every barrel. She packed barrels because they were shorter. She was not a real tall woman, and she had about 200 pounds on each barrel.
Wow. And that was out of the La Plata Mountains, right?
Yeah, there used to be a railroad spur up to Mayday, and she would pack the gold ore down there and put it on rail cars there.
Okay, folks, you now know somebody that knew firsthand Olga Little. This is kind of fun. She was on television, wasn't she?
Uh-huh, this is your life.
Yeah. And so for those of you who don't know, how many of you in the room remember This Is Your Life? Oh, there's all the old people. Okay. But this was a television show back in the 60s or 50s, somewhere around there.
50s.
Yeah, and we would discuss, they would talk about a person's life was famous. They would have 3 people sort of do a little testimony about him, and one of them was my great-grandfather, John W. Turner. He knew her.
And they broadcast it from the Coliseum in Denver.
They did? Okay. Here's another famous person you met. Can you tell us about Mr. Rogers?
Will Rogers?
Will
Will
Rogers.
Rogers.
Yeah, he landed the airplane out on the mesa, and flying from here back up to Vancouver, he got in a crash and got killed.
Now, tell him which mesa he landed on.
Sherry,
Up where the college
Up where
is.
the college is. Up on the,
There was
the
a-
airport used to be up there.
There was
No,
a
he
dirt.
didn't land there.
Oh, he didn't?
No. No, he landed in a field, that field where, Howard Craig's house is, and that slope down.
Okay, so out towards County Road
It was
302.
He landed on a field out there.
Okay.
But they had a airport up on top of College Hill, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Wayne, tell us about the time you snuck up there and watched a movie being filmed.
I went up there and watched, they were filming, Joel McRae was filming a movie up there. And they ran a stagecoach right down the runway, and the guy fell off the front and climbed back up over the back. It was a
stunt.
stunt man for Joel McRae, but anyway, and I even got to visit with Joel McRae. I wasn't very big.
Yeah.
Junior high.
For those of you who don't know, Joel McRae was a big movie star back those days, right?
Yeah,
Was that
big
the 40s?
Western. Huh?
Was that the 40s?
No, he's been late 40s, early 50s.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so, that's pretty amazing. Will Rogers flew right into Durango and met a bunch of folks and continued his journey towards, I think it was actually in Point Barrow, Alaska, where he crashed. But he went through Vancouver to get there. August 15th, 1935. To bring Pearl's story to an end here, this is really prophetic, but to tell us about your trip to Hawaii and who that couple is that's there with you. The upper picture is it's Ernie and Pearl, and they're with Joe and Frances Hodder. Is Carla here tonight by any chance? Carla is Joe's daughter, but I wanted to show you this photo. Besides two great couples that helped build our community, is that a little bit of serendipity here is that if you go back to that picture at the old schoolhouse, is that there's Joe and Pearl right there. Is that amazing? You've met a lot of amazing people in your
Yes,
life, haven't you?
I sure have.
Okay.
Had a very good life, very
Okay.
good. Very
Well, we're kind of at the end of our story here. Is there anything you'd like to say before we have a little intermission?
Just thanks to everybody for being a part of it.
Okay. You are just an amazingly beautiful woman, and you're also very attractive. But I just feel honored to be in the same room with you. Ernie was a lucky man.
Oh, dear.
But
Thank you.
Before we end, though, we got to do our best to correct history as best as possible. So I want to go back to the times when you worked in the bank. Representative Tipton arranged a congressional tribute to you.
Who?
So, Scott Tipton.
Congressman Scott
Oh.
Tipton.
So you are now officially enrolled in the congressional record with a citation that's right here. And actually, the people that helped arrange this were Karen Barger, who works for Scott Tipton, but also Beth Drum with Alpine Bank, because she was appalled to hear about how you got paid. So there's quite a tribute here, but would you folks let me read just one part of this, because I think it's really important that we read this. It says, Pearl was no stranger to hard work herself. She started working at the young age of 6. She was the family homemaker while her mother taught at a remote one-room schoolhouses. She worked as a gas pump attendant at her father's station during World War II, and years later started a job at the Bank of Durango as a teller. Despite being paid only half of what her male counterparts made, her hard work did not go unnoticed by her colleagues or management, and she eventually rose through the ranks to serve as vice president of the bank. Madam Speaker, it is my pleasure to honor Pearl. As a renowned storyteller in her community, Pearl will continue to highlight her remarkable life through the Durango Native Stories, a reoccurring public series offering firsthand recollections of personal stories from Durango locals. Her life of hard work, perseverance, and achievement is worthy of commendation, and I am proud to honor her legacy.
Thank you.